Hey fam, we have an exciting announcement. We are hosting Sleep Summit 2023, October 9th through the 12th in beautiful Bentonville, Arkansas. We have early bird tickets on sale right now. So head over to sleepsummit.co, learn all about the event, and get your tickets. You're not going to want to miss this. We are going to have lively presentations, interactive breakouts, unconventional group activities, all designed to bring about breakthroughs for you and your business in a fun, collaborative setting. So mark your calendars, October 9th through the 12th in Bentonville, Arkansas, and I want you to head over right now to sleepsummit.co and snag your tickets. Tickets are limited, and that early bird special runs out, and then ticket prices go up. I don't want you to miss out. The way you win is when it's tough. Scott Vaughn, the owner of Happy Z's Sit and Sleep, is here to talk about how to plan and prepare for when it's going to be good. The Sleep Summit show begins right now.
Fam.news.
Welcome to the Sleep Summit show, where we uncover bold ideas with innovators, entrepreneurs, and thought leaders making waves in the sleep industry. With your host, Mark Kinsley.
Welcome to the Sleep Summit show. I'm your host, Mark Kinsley, and I'm so excited to have Scott Vaughn on the show today. Scott, I know you have a lot of fans in the industry. You have a lot of people that follow what you do. You're on the advisory board for Nationwide Marketing Group. I know you're good friends with Greg Law and some of the crew from that have been guests on the show, and I'm so excited to have you here. Thanks for being here.
Hey, thanks for having me on. It's quite an honor. I've been watching you for years and years and years. Never thought little old me would be on your great show.
Well, little you, tell people about you for those who don't know, because you are based in a small town, but you have an amazing business. And I've actually gotten phone calls about you over the years. And finally we connected whenever that spur came at me again. Picked up the phone and I was like, I gotta connect with Scott on a closer level and find out what's going on over there in Kentucky.
Yeah, I hear that a lot. They're like, if Scott Vaughn can make it, anybody can make it. So, so I own Happy Z Sit and Sleep. We're a 2-store operation in Paducah and Benton, Kentucky. I'm from Wingo, Kentucky, population 456. And I'm no city slicker. We didn't even live in the city of Wingo. We live out in the suburbs, which is basically my grandparents' farm. So, so yeah, just a little old guy from a little old town, and luckily found this business 20 years ago. Opened my first store 18 years ago now. So I'm getting old, but I can't be more optimistic about this business than I am right now.
Well, I think you'd have to be optimistic for navigating the conditions that are out there right now, because I know it's tough for a lot of people. And you've got a message of hope and optimism that I really love. But before we get there, we'll kind of wade into it for sure. But give people a little bit of flavor about your background, because I was told from our good friend Pete Primo that you were a coach and you coached for a long time. And it seems that love for coaching and developing people is in your business each and every day. And that's a passion of yours.
Yeah. So actually, I got an athletic coaching minor in college at WKU in Bowling Green. Hey, Trent, Brian, all you guys
Trent?
over there. Love you guys. And we're big Hilltopper fans. Trent and I are big Hilltopper fans, but, my basketball coaching class was a Final Four coach at WKU, Johnny Oldham. He gave me a really passion for coaching, and then, ended up deciding not to teach, school because I thought I'd kill a teenager probably if I ended up teaching. But, I ended up refereeing right out of the gate. From when as soon as I started college when I was 18, I refereed high school and college basketball, 25 years. And then I started coaching when my son got to high school, and I went on and coached for 7 years, and retired a couple of years ago. But yeah, I love coaching. And my manager and I were talking about this last night. She said, you just got away with giving us value that we don't get, you wouldn't get at another job. So she's like, you just let us do our job. And I'm not a micromanager by any means, but my greatest joy actually with owning the business is, and all my people are young, my sales staff, they're 19 to 26 years old. There's 6 of them. And my greatest joy is hiring a really good person, training them to do the job and giving them passion about this business, and then watching them do it. And then them take off like an eagle that just flew out of the nest, a baby eagle, and they just take off and boom, they're seeing the world and enjoying life, and they enjoy what we do and very passionate about what we do. Way more passionate than I was when I started, but they just love people and they love this business and they're seeing the value of it, and they're getting a lot of positive feedback from past customers. So what's not to love? I love this business.
And we get to help people get a better foundation for their life on that foundation of good sleep. Hey,
Yeah.
go back to you being a coach and a referee,
Okay.
because something just hit me here. Whenever you're a coach, you get to work on the court during practice with your team. And whenever it comes game time, you can't be out there on the court. You really do have to empower them and to have imparted on them the knowledge that you hope that they're going to take and use in the game. You can run up and down the sidelines, you can scream and flail and wave your arms as much as you want, but ultimately they're going to be out there playing the game. And it sounds like that's similar to what you do with your team. You're not micromanaging, but you're getting them ready for the game and then standing back and letting them do what they do best.
Yeah. Have you been watching me coach? Because I did a lot of flailing. And of course, I knew all the referees because I used to referee with them. And so I could
Hey,
go
tell us how to really
crazy.
tell us how to really get in the referee's head. Like what should we whisper?
Well, they respected me because I called state tournament, which is hard to do in Kentucky, but, so they knew me and knew how to ref. And one of them even made a comment. It's like, I hate refereeing for Scott Vaughn because he knows what we're doing out here. And, and I'll say, did you really like that call? You know, and I'm like, oh yeah. And I didn't. I didn't like it. I try to be funny with them. So too, and say, good call, dang it. When they make a good call against my team, stuff like that. Just have fun with them. And then when I do have to get on them, I bought some time with them. But coaching is inspiring, and it's inspiring kids. And I love that. I love doing that. I miss that a little bit, but I'm doing that with my kids at work, and I call them kids because they're half my age or less. But they're really the most joy you see is somebody who's coachable. First thing, and a lot of times, especially in a public school setting, you get kids that aren't coachable, and they're hard. I mean, they don't do the sprints. They don't run to the line like they're supposed to. They show up late. They do a lot of things, and there's not in the public school setting you can do about it as much as when I coached in a private school, one of the small schools in this whole state, and right here where I live in Benton, and we beat some big teams, and it was fun because we were the little guy. And if we beat anybody, it's a little Christian fellowship. You can't lose to them because we didn't even have a full size court. So that's the only court probably in this whole state, basketball crazy state. And we beat a lot of big schools, and we just inspired the fire of these kids. And I would chest bump. If they were willing to dive on the floor after a ball and go after it. And that's all come from all the practice, all the summer and all that, where they know you love them and you're with them no matter what, and pump them up. And we just had a ball. I mean, it was so much fun with those kids, and I love those kids. Still love them. They're getting married and all that now, but yeah, it was really fun to coach and inspire kids, and they inspired me too, and, I tell them, we don't play to win. Like Herm Edwards said, we don't play to win. We play to inspire. If I said, I don't want that electric sign in the corner with the numbers on it to decide if you want or not. I want the parents of the other team to come down and say, man, I've never seen anybody play that hard in my life. And that's what we want to do at Happy Z's too. We want to wow our customers to a point that they're like, I've never been in a place like this before. I've never been treated like this before. And we want to inspire our people to inspire. So inspired people inspire people. I want to inspire my people to inspire the customers to where they're going to be the sounding board out there for us that advertises for us to our part of the country.
And you see some of that, right? You're seeing customers come back in saying, I've never been
Oh
treated
yeah.
like this.
Yeah. We created a process for sleep too, for picking out a mattress that's made it so much simpler for the customer to buy and actually pick out. And we call it custom fitting. So we custom fit them with a perfect mattress, perfect pillow, and so it's custom fit for them. And I kind of got that idea. I went to New York a few years ago and ran into a mall right by Central Park on the southwest side of Central Park. There's a little mall there, a big mall actually. But there was like a running store in there, running shoe store. And it's the division of Fleet Feet. And you've heard of Fleet Feet?
I have, yeah.
Okay. So my wife had knee problems. I ran in there. We always shop separate. And her knee had been hurting and she'd had back surgery. So I found some shoes or some flip flops she would like. So I went back out to get her and she was there. And they came in and they mapped her feet and custom fit her with a perfect set of shoes and insoles. And her knee pain went away. And then they did mine too. And I had good shoes, but they custom fit me with the perfect shoes for how I walk and ran and insoles. And it didn't cost me a dime more than going to my shoe store here. And I thought, that's what we should be doing at Happy Z's is we should be custom fitting our customers. And so that we developed a process, and my manager and I we brainstorm constantly. She's got ideas every 20 seconds. But we really custom fit people, and we developed a system to create the perfect sleep system for our customers. And through that process, we had to do all that planning when it's slow, like it is, it's kind of slow now. So when it got good, we had a pretty good system going on.
Can you describe that to us? Because I always like to go through that customer journey because when people come in, a lot of times they're scared. They're going through a transition in their life. They may be scared of the salesperson. They may be thinking in the back of their mind, am I going to get a good deal or get ripped off? So
Yes.
walk us through that experience because it sounds like it's working.
My manager told me not to give away too much strategy, but here we go. We're going to do it anyway. She's not here. She's at work. So we do a thing called technology testing. So we got latex mattresses. We got Visco, memory foam, and we got Innerspring. So we got luxury level, which are pretty high end products. And that's what we comfort test. But we just do a medium feel in each one of those. So we'll do a medium latex, a medium memory foam, medium Innerspring. Let the customer decide which one they want. Then we go to which firmness they would want in that level. And then they always want to know the price. So that's when we hit them with the news. Yes. Of course, we show the adjustable bases we got an adjustable base under every single bed, including twins. We don't believe in box springs where we're at. So, so we show them the adjustable base in the process too. So once they pick that out, then we try to fit their wallet if that's too much, and we use financing to help, manage the shock and awe of the price, because a lot of times we're north of 10 grand on a luxury setup with a luxury adjustable base, pillows. So we have a thing we created. This is my manager, she's incredible. You're going to meet her at the Sleep Summit. Can't wait. But, she created this all-in pricing. So it's got the mattress, adjustable base, 2 pillows, set of sheets, mattress protector, protection plan on the adjustable base, delivery, setup, and all the way, and taxes, and on 48-month financing. So, all that's going to add up to a customer, but hey, for only $240 a month, you got the perfect custom fit sleep system.
I want to recap something here and get your thoughts as I echo it back to you, because you did something there in two different ways that remind me of a very simple saying: a confused mind doesn't buy.
Right.
And the first thing you did was you took it from a technology standpoint, which I've never heard of anybody doing it that way. Hey, we're going to try innerspring, we're going to try latex, we're going to try memory foam in a medium feel. And then whichever of those technologies you gravitated to, then that gives you the entry point to go and explore different feels within that range of products.
Correct.
That's a nice way to get rid of all the feel fatigue that you can have when going between all the different things. And you set the expectation from the beginning, like, let's try these three, and that's all you're doing. This is the step.
Yeah, we have a step-by-step process, and we tell them that right up front after we ask some questions and find out basically what their problems are. We want to know what their problems are. So we don't want to fix a problem they don't have. And I heard a story, I think Bob Munkle told me this one. He was at a store, and the salesman was talking to this little old lady, and he kept talking about everybody tried her on, talked about motion transfer and all this stuff. And so time comes, she's walking out, and he goes, "Hey, did you not find what you're looking for?" And then he starts asking her questions about what her problems are. And she said, "Well, my problem is my husband just died, and I just couldn't sleep on that mattress anymore that my husband lived on." She didn't care about motion transfer. He's fixing a problem she did not have. And so our initial talk with our prospects are, what are your problems? Why are you here? We're not going to ask it in that way, but we're going to find out why they're there and what their issues are. And then we're going to use whatever their hot buttons are to present our products.
Yeah,
that's try the technology. And then we do have a number bed as well. So we have something. So if somebody's interested in a sleep number, we'll take them to our number bed and show them that too. But we don't usually do that in our process, which three's enough to get a start on them,
Yeah, that's I like that, just eliminating confusion from the very beginning. And the second thing you did to really reduce confusion was that all-in pricing, because people were wondering, how much am I going to pay? And is there an add-on? Is there tax? Is there delivery fee? If I'm outside of 40 miles, is it going to go up from there? So really smart things to simplify the process. And it sounds like you've done a lot of work around this, and I give you a lot of respect for that work, because I always say simple isn't always easy.
No, and it is keep it simple, stupid. We use that KISS method a lot, because the simpler we make it, and that's a problem. When we developed that process, and we haven't been doing this long, 3 or 4 months. And the problem was we were selling them maybe a luxury bed or ultra premium type bed. And then we get them to the desk, and they know the price is whatever. And then we hit them with, you're going to need a mattress protector with that. And then with that adjustable base, you're going to want these sheets that have the strap to it so the sheets don't pop off. And then you want it delivered? Yeah, of course you are. And then, we've got this protection plan for your adjustable base to bump the warranty up. And then you need it hauled away.
Mm-hmm.
And then you remember those pillows you liked? Do you want those pillows? We've hit them with 6 more questions after we got them to the desk, and you could just see their face, like total fatigue. And I'm like, we got to stop. I mean, we need to sell them these things. They need these things, but we got to figure out a way. So after I went to see Greg Law, after I met him, and we just bounced ideas off each other. And I love that guy, by the way, just absolutely love him. Brilliant human being. That I learned a lot off of. But we talked about bundling, and so we did bundles for a while, and we're still doing that. But when we put it in the all-in pricing on our luxury, so our luxury level. So instead of hitting them with $10,000 or $12,000, we're hitting them at $240 a month. Well, where we live we're in one of the lowest income places in the country. So Paducah is our big city. Average household income is $39,500. So selling luxury bedding to people that make 40 grand a year is not easy. So you're not going to sell them a $10,000 mattress. I'm sorry, but they can afford $250 a month, So,
And one of the things you talked about, you and I have spoken about previously, is the idea that those people that have average household income of under $40,000, well, price isn't the issue when they're coming in with heart problems and acid reflux and hip replacements. And that was just yesterday. All those things came in your
Yeah.
store.
yeah. And we get to play doctor. I think we talked about that. We get to play doctor every day without the student debt. So, but yeah, we got people with real problems, real issues, and they're researching online now about their health. And I had a doctor's appointment yesterday, my annual checkup, and me and my doctor just talked about sleep for an hour. And he wanted to know, he was asking me for advice for his patients. And he knew the benefits of sleep, how important it is, and that kind of thing. So,
hey, let's go there. Let's go there for a second, because we got our Sleep Summit quiz question, and this is perfectly tied to medicine, because here it is. The research, new research from the American College of Cardiology analyzed data from over 170,000 adults in the US. And so they were trying to figure out a bunch of different factors related to health, and they focused in on sleep habits. And this shocking statistic came out, and we'll use it as our quiz question that we'll answer here at the end of the show. People with better sleep habits were what percentage less likely to die for any reason? What percentage less likely to die for any reason? People with better sleep habits. So hang on to that. And we'll get also to where is the strangest place Scott Vaughn has ever slept. That's all here on the Sleep Summit show. Scott, one of the hang on to your answers, by the way.
okay.
One of the things that we started off the show talking about that we've already been digging into is just this idea of hope and optimism and how to plan and prepare for when it's going to be good. What do you mean by that? And what's your message?
So I'm a big Zig Ziglar fan, And he had a saying, to win, you must plan to win, you must prepare to win, and then and only then can you expect to win. I use that with all my basketball teams too. As one of the first speeches I gave to the team was, hey, now's planning and preparing time, because we've got to build up endurance I like to press the basketball. So I like pressure, and bring the funk's one of my statements. And I'm writing a book by that name, Bring the Funk, actually.
Bring the funk? What does that mean? I like that.
Well, it's bringing that extra gear. It's you see football teams, like fourth quarter, when the fourth quarter comes. So you played an even game, and it's that extra gear that you kick in and the other team doesn't have. And so when you're a team, when you really work together, you're really bringing the funk, and iron sharpens iron. And we're just wanting to bring out that extra level and be the 1% that the 99% aren't willing to do. We want to be the elite, the top gun. We want to be that kind of person and that kind of team at Happy Z's.
I loved being that fourth quarter team. I played high school basketball and just loved playing high school basketball. And we had this coach that we did something called chow drills. Okay. So it was like these modified, crazy 36 different line drills. And they called them chow drills because you'd blow your chow. It happened all the time with people. And I remember we would get into these fourth quarter situations, and we would just start blowing past people because we were so well conditioned and we had a great team.
Yeah.
And so I love it when a good plan comes together, and then you
That's
start,
right.
and you just, there's so many things in life too that I've noticed that if you just look at what you're doing and you dial up the intensity,
Yeah.
most people don't dial up that intensity
Yeah.
and just
Yeah.
really get after it.
Yeah. And it's like, when it's slow, this should be the time where you're like, as a business owner or a manager of a mattress store, is like, this is great. I've got time to plan, and then you get your team together and you brainstorm. And it's like, we go off site quarterly now, and we just brainstorm and we throw ideas at each other and come up with plans. And we do it almost daily, actually. We have a ball at work, just coming up with some new idea or whatever. And we just, most of them we don't implement, but some of them we do. And because we'll bounce off, crazy ideas off each other, and most of the time they work. And so I always say, this is the time when you take market share right here. When it's slow, this is when you're going to step up. When everybody else is sitting in a store and they're moping and complaining and sitting on their phones, and they're just doing this, playing a game all the time or playing whatever. If you're the 1% and you're planning and preparing right then, you're taking market share right now.
How does somebody do it? If they're sitting there, let's say they're listening right now on their phone and they need to get after it. Where do they start? And they're saying to themselves, I don't even know where to begin. What do they do?
Well, it's getting ideas. So you're doing it right now by watching a podcast on the mattress industry. But there's this new website that came out. It's called YouTube, and you can learn anything on YouTube.
Hold on, what's the URL again? Can you give it to me one more time?
YOUTUBE. Yeah, it's new. You probably haven't even heard of it yet.
No, I'm excited to check it out. Can't wait.
You can learn. I can learn. Like I bought an old Corvette, and I had lights out and all this other stuff, and I'm like, how am I going to figure it? Because I don't want to take it. So you get on YouTube, and you can learn how to do anything just about on YouTube. You can get a college education, master's degree on YouTube. So being on YouTube and getting inspired, reading, leaders are readers.
Mm-hmm.
So one of the podcasts I listened to, at the end, they asked whoever the guest is, like, what are 4 books that you're reading or have read that inspired you the most? And so I just write down those 4 books, and I kept buying them. And I'm not a reader. I'm a math guy, so I'm having to learn to like to read. But I have learned a ton from these people. Get inspired. I mean, it's very inspiring.
Hey, let's go granular for a minute. What are a few books that are on your list right now that come to the top of mind if somebody's out there like, hey, I want to be a leader and a reader? What are a couple that they should check out?
A game-changing book. Can I just grab a few?
Absolutely.
Right.
Grab a few. I'll tell you right now, I'm reading Predictably Irrational. It is an incredibly fascinating book about how the human beings come into the marketplace, or how human beings just fundamentally interact in ways that are irrational, but it's predictable. Where you can forecast that this irrationality is going to happen. So there's one on my list as you grab your stacks.
I got to write that down. What was it?
Predictably Irrational. I'm actually doing it in audiobook format. So
okay.
The audiobook's really good as well.
I started grabbing books. I'm like, I'm going to have to stop because there's so many. So one of them I read is Work the System. So it talks about process, building processes in your business. So it takes a lot of work off of you as a business owner. Sam Carpenter wrote that.
Sam Carpenter, Work the System. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, processes are hard to do, but it's a 1%er thing. It's like the 1%ers will do it, and it's worth it, but it's hard. It's not easy. This book is a game changer. Unreasonable Hospitality. Have you read this one?
Adrian from our team loves this book.
This is unreal. It has nothing to do with the mattress business. It's a restaurant business guy, but it has everything to do with the mattress business because it's how you wow your customers. And so I bought my manager one, and she read that pretty quick. And then start with the why, Simon Sinek. I can
Another
give you
great
the
one.
cliff. I can give you the cliff notes on that one. People don't buy what you sell; they buy why you sell it. That was the big quote in that book.
Hey, connect the dots with us real quick on that one.
Yep.
So when people come into Happy Z Sit and Sleep, they're coming there for a mattress. What's your why? How do you communicate that, and what is it?
Okay, that's very good. That's a very good question. So our why is they want to buy local. A lot of times, there's a lot of people that are local, but they want to know why. Why would I buy from you? And so I think us given that process, B, we do a thing called buy a bed, give a bed. A friend of mine there in Arkansas trademarked it. These connections you build up through over time that just like Nationwide and things like that. So he gave me this idea, or he did it actually, and I copied it. But so when we sell a bed, we donate a twin mattress to a place called Starfish Orphan Ministries here in our area, and they give it to a kid that doesn't have a bed that's laying on the floor. So people like that. I mean, they're inspired by that, and we have them sign a sticker, and we put the sticker on the mattress with their name on it. Say, hey, because you bought here, we can donate a mattress in your name to a kid that doesn't have one. And they can never repay you. And there's no better giving than giving to somebody that can't repay you. And so that's our biggest.
And that's what John Wooden, speaking of being coaches, John Wooden said, you haven't lived a perfect day until you've done something for someone who can't repay you.
That's right. John Wooden. Yeah.
I love that. So you talk about the why in terms of the purpose that you have in giving people a better night's sleep that goes beyond the purchase somebody's going to make. You're going to give kids and other people that need help a better night's sleep. That's part of your why.
Yeah. And I mean, it will absolutely make you cry as a grown man cry to see a kid sitting on a bed or laying on a bed that didn't have one last night and maybe never had one. And it's just like the guest you had recently. What was his name?
Michael Unbroken.
Michael Unbroken, slept on concrete floors growing up, foster home after foster home, didn't know where he's going to be the next night. And think about giving Michael Unbroken a mattress the first time just to get off the ground. And that's a compelling reason why people would buy from us rather than buying online.
That's what your buddy Greg Law and behind that Keith Moneymaker does with the Dreams for All Foundation.
Yeah.
And it changes the entire conversation for the business with them. It's an incredible thing.
So people want to buy from people they like, but they want to buy from giving people too. And they don't want to buy. And I've always said this to my sales staff is if you're just selling for money, you're not going to sell much. If you're selling as a transfer to feeling to a customer to help them, you're probably going to make a really good living in sales. And we're reading right now How to Win Friends and Influence People. The whole staff, we got the whole staff a book, and they're all reading through it right now. So anyway, great book. Pete Primo's book, Sell a Million. Every mattress store owner should have this book. There are 101 ideas that are very practical. That's a great book.
Shout out to Pete. Yeah, Pete's an
Precious
amazing
Pete Primo. I've nicknamed him Precious Pete.
Hey, next time you talk to him, say, call him the baby hippo. He'll know what it means.
I know the baby hippo story.
Oh, you know the baby hippo?
Yeah, that's funny.
Well, hey, those are great lists. One of the things we were talking about there is how to plan and prepare for when it's going to be good. And so much, I was talking to a friend this morning as I was walking Jonesy, my dog, and I know you're probably out walking TJ at the same time.
Yeah.
And I was talking to my buddy Brandon Bain from Bedhead Marketing, and we were just going over some of the stuff that's going on with market and the industry and different things. And we just got into this idea that, sometimes you're in a frame of mind when you need inputs. But once you gather up enough inputs, then it's time to apply them. So inputs and application. So as you're sitting there thinking about how to plan and prepare for when it's good, gathering up those inputs. And sometimes, like you said, those inputs are brainstorming, coming up with
Yes.
volume of ideas, and then you start selecting and applying them.
I want to add to that because just meeting with elite dealers, I want to, I think I told you last time I talked to you, I'm looking for the most elite dealers in the country, and I will fly wherever it takes to go meet with them. And like, I wasn't going to High Point uh, in the spring until I met Greg Law in Dallas at Nationwide. And I'm like, all right, I'm coming to see your operation. So I flew to Charlotte and I went to High Point for kicks, I guess. And then I went to see Greg and we had great time. Saw two of his stores and spent 3.5 hours with him. Thanks to Contour Airlines being delayed, I got to spend a lot more time with him, but just bouncing ideas off of him. So yeah, you asked the question, what would somebody do if they're struggling? Find good dealers, find elite dealers and go and talk to them. Go to wherever they are, go see their operations and learn from them. And you'll be amazed at what kind of ideas you'll pick up. And then like nationwide events are terrific, or whatever buying group. And I've said this to you before, is like, you'll be at breakfast with a round table of people you don't even know. And the worst dealer there will have an idea you've never thought of. And you'll pick up some idea that like, that's brilliant. I don't know how I didn't think of that before. And then I always take a pen and paper and I'll put a note in my phone, like whatever idea I learned at breakfast, eating runny eggs and floppy bacon. So,
Well, that's, if I could throw out a little extra here, I know that's one of the reasons you're coming to Sleep Summit, you said.
yeah, I wanted to, like, I messaged you. I'm like, okay, I don't want to meet average dealers. I know there's going to be some there, but I want to meet the most elite dealers in the country because I'm needing new ideas to implement into my business because we're trying to grow. I'm expecting, I'm so optimistic. I'm about to explode. I'm so optimistic about this business because everybody's researching health right now and they're finding out the truth. The truth is sleep is more important than diet and exercise combined. And it's amazing. And so people are coming in and they're willing to spend the money, and I tell people all the time, because in our area, we're in a rural area. So everybody's got a 0-turn lawnmower. I used to be a rep for a lawnmower company. And they'll be like, it's $10,000. I'm not spending $10,000 on a bed. Now, that's not all we sell. So I've said that several times, but we sell plenty of $1,000 beds too. And I'll say, I bet you got a really nice place, sir. And, oh yeah, and, everybody wants to brag about their castle. Got 3 acres. And I said, you must have a really nice 0-turn lawnmower. Yeah. Oh yeah. And he gets in talking about how many horsepower and this 72-inch deck and all this. I mow it in an hour and all this. And I said, I bet you spent more than 10 grand on that thing. Oh, and the wife looks at him and says, yeah, he spent $12,500. And I said, so you spent $12,500 to temporarily make tall grass short, and you won't spend it on something your wife needs for her bad back? And then she'll always look at him like, he got you. And then they'll say, I can't believe I'm spending that much on a bed. And you're not. You're spending on a sleep system that's going to help you and your wife for many, many years to come. I promise you. It'll be the best money you ever spent.
You're making an investment in your every moment of your life, your night and your day.
Right. Another one of I've got a lot of one-liners, so sorry. That's just how we are in the country. But I always say you spend a third of your life on it, and the other 2/3 depends on how that third went. So your whole life depends on how you slept last night. If you don't sleep one night, they do that at Guantanamo Bay. They keep them awake all night for a reason, because it drives them crazy. So
I think it's a perfect chance also to highlight our quiz question because it feeds right into this. And if you don't, just what you said, Scott, you spend a third of your life on it and the other 2/3 depends on that third. Well, there's real data out there to back that up now. And I mentioned it earlier with the research from the American College of Cardiology. and those 172,000 plus adults that they had respond to it was a CDC survey that was gauging the health of the U.S. population and included questions about sleep and sleep habits. Well, they found that, I'll give you a guess, people with better sleep habits were what percentage less likely to die for any reason?
Well, we're all going to die. So I'm not sure how to, less likely to die.
But I'll throw it out to you.
Okay.
I can also rephrase it for you. Here's an easy way to rephrase it.
Okay.
So they're saying sleeping for about 8 hours can improve your overall health and decrease the likelihood of an early death, according to this data. Researchers say just under what percentage of all deaths can be attributed to poor sleep patterns?
Oh,
What percentage of all deaths can be attributed to poor sleep patterns? And I think another way of like showing like causation is now they've shown that bad sleep actually causes Alzheimer's.
Yeah. I would say 40%.
Well, they're saying that for all causes, 10% of all deaths can be attributed to poor sleep patterns.
Okay. I way overstated that.
Well, they did say people with better sleep habits were 30% less likely to die for any reason. So 21% were less likely to die from cardiovascular disease, 19% were less likely to die from cancer, and 40% were less likely to die of causes other than heart disease or cancer. So your 40% was right on whenever it didn't involve heart disease or cancer. So we got there eventually. You're spot on.
Chase that rabbit.
We got there eventually. But it's crazy to think of they're now gathering, sleep science as a discipline is relatively young. And so we're now focused on it. We're gathering data and we're going to be able to say with confidence, this is the difference between life and death in many cases. It's now being shown.
It is huge. Huge.
Hey, where's the strangest place you've ever slept?
I've lived a long time now, so I've got a lot of places to pick from, but I've got one I think you haven't had before. So I've slept in a funeral home. Is the strangest place I've ever slept. And the reason I did that, you're speechless. The reason I did that was I was coaching Little League baseball coming out of college. And the guy I was coaching with, we became friends, and he worked for the coroner in a funeral home in Bowling Green, where Trent lives. And he said, "Hey, we've got this." I was needing a place to stay. "We've got this studio apartment at the funeral home you can stay at." So I lived in a funeral home for a year. Yeah. So,
most people that sleep in a funeral home, they don't wake up.
Exactly. A lot of people think it's strange or be really weird, and it is weird. But the neighbors that came, they're extraordinarily quiet, and they only stayed a few days. So never had any noise complaints.
So how close were you to that part of it?
Right above it, right above the funeral parlors that they had there. Yeah.
And after a while, you just didn't even think about it.
No, because he was the coroner, so I worked for the coroner, and so I've seen every way you can die. Just very strange. And I was the guy that took them to go get autopsies. So if they died for a strange reason, then I was the guy to haul them to Louisville and take them to the medical examiner. So,
you got any strange ones? Like what were some of the strangest ones that stand out to you?
I had one time I was transporting a lady from our funeral home to another funeral home, and they had toll booths on the parkway back then. And so you had to pay. They didn't have any scanners like they do these days, but this is 30 years ago. So this lady, they had her makeup done and her hair done and all that. So we couldn't zip her up in the gurney. So they had her up, zipped up to right here like a collar of your shirt. And so I came into the toll booth a little hot. I didn't have exact change. So the gurney comes up in between the seats, and she's right there, right beside me. So I'm trying, and the stobs on the gurney, stop it. It ripped the carpet and everything in the van. And I'm trying to push it back with one arm. I could not. And I get into the toll booth, and the lady there taking my money saw on a dead body. And yeah, so it's unexplainable. I just gave her my money and went on.
So you have this lady with her makeup done up, the body
Yeah.
bag basically zipped up to her collar. She's sitting right beside you as you're paying your
She
money
is
at the toll
right
booth.
there, like right beside me.
Tuesday, man.
I drove the rest of the way with her right there. Like, oh, well, she's not going anywhere.
Oh, man. That's a good one.
Yeah,
That is a good one. Well, Scott,
Yeah.
it's been fun talking to you. Thanks for being on the Sleep Summit show here. Thanks for coming to Sleep Summit, which is happening the 9th through the 12th of October here
Can't
in
wait.
beautiful Bentonville, Arkansas. We can't wait to get you on a bike.
Yeah. I bought a new bike just for the summit. Well, I didn't just for the summit. I love mountain biking, but I did buy a new bike, and I put 60 miles on it in a couple weeks. So I'm having a ball around here. We got a lot of trails here, and I just want to thank you, Mark, for all you've done for our industry. I wouldn't be where I'm at without you and other people like you and Quinn, and podcasting's awesome. I learn a ton every week. Can't wait for every Monday morning. So,
Well, it's
I
my
really
pleasure.
appreciate you. Yeah.
It's my pleasure. I know that, at the fam, there have been so many people over the years that have just given so freely of their energy and their talent and their wisdom. And it's just so nice to have a platform where people can come and just do that. And I thank you for coming and sharing a message of hope and optimism and how to prepare right now when it's maybe not so good for when it is going to be good. And I love using the word when, because it's going to happen.
It's going to get better. It does that every 4 years or so. So we made it through 2008 and 2012 and then COVID. So, hey, this is nothing. We're planning to prepare for when it's good again. So hope everybody stays optimistic and learn.
Learn. That's right. And we've got a couple of book recommendations there. We'll have, we got those. Hopefully you jotted them down. We'll put them in the show notes over at fam.news, and be sure to subscribe. And like Scott said, every Monday morning at 6 a.m., we're kicking it off with a new episode. So Scott, thank you so much. Thank you to your team at Happy Z's. I know you've got an amazing team, and you're coaching them, and it sounds like they are just absorbing anything and everything that you can bring their way. And you've got an amazing business, it sounds like, and a wonderful community that supports you. And you're just a bright, shining light, like a great example of what this industry can be. And I know a lot of people look up to you. So thanks for opening up here. And we'll have to apologize to your manager for sharing as much as you shared. We are sorry.
She knows she can't control me, and I really can't control her either.
Hey, it's like
fine. Hey,
it's like Jordan. He's gonna get his points. You just only hope to contain him.
That's right.
Well, thanks for being on the show. It's good to see you, my friend.
You too, brother.